So, today in our second session of our analytics workshop, um, I thought I could start by sharing the progress that we made on the reports that we worked on last time. Last time we were really exploring how bins, as opposed to filters, can help you organize your information to create better, more clear visualizations. So I'm in Big Bend because Amanda and I actually had a couple that we were working on that we have ended up with some cool stuff. So one of them was the one we were really working on was in the bins for the laptop inventory. And this one is looking at all of the different models that they have at Big Bend and where they are located and what status they are all in. And while this is still a pretty big spreadsheet, this is a much smaller spreadsheet than the multitude of different descriptions. And the way that we did that, so Amanda did a bunch of work to create the filters so that the content of the results were the items that we wanted. And then under description, we went to edit formula, and I created all of these bins where basically, rather than try and grab anything beside the model number, I just went through and found all of the model numbers. And one of the things that I learned messing around last week, or maybe I was reminded of messing around last week, is that you can really kind of see the exactness, I guess, of analytics and coding if you change a filter from contains exactly to contains any. And so just for or contains all, that's what I'm saying. So just so we can like see the difference here with these, let's see if it does it. So we just changed two of them to contains all. Okay, those two didn't actually. Well, that's nice. But this really came into play in the other report that we were working on. So binning these up acted differently from creating filters. Our other report that we were working on bins, where the contains all, contains any, really came into play, was the textbook collection. So this one, we were working in the workshop on binning titles and call number, and item call number, because we can see what these bins are. So like we wanted to combine all of these English ones into English 102. Or we wanted to combine all these math ones into English 102. And for the most part, choosing item call number is equal to completely worked. But if we scroll down, there's actually some where, for whatever reason, with the early childhood education call numbers, even though I specifically went in and was like clicking on every single ECED, we still had an ECED class that was just hanging out by itself and wasn't getting binned. And I was like, what the heck? And so that is when I changed it to contains any, and it started working just fine. So I made all of these basically on subject area except for English. So we have bins for item call number. And then we also had titles where just through different cataloging or different versions of a like just like edition of a textbook, um, we had different titles, but they're basically all the same concepts of biology. So I went through and, like binned all of these. So we've got one that I had to change to contains any because for whatever reason, this art book did not want to get it together. And then after that, I was just like, I'm going to use contains any for all of them. So this one has bins acting on two different criteria. Now, the second thing that we did with this, I'm going to show you the results first so you can, ooh, ah. So how did we calculate student savings? Big Ben does not use acquisitions. However, the cataloger does put in replacement cost. And so by using that field, um, you can get at least some idea of money that is saved for users through your reserves or through textbooks or through laptops or whatever. But you're like, okay, so I could, so we've got all these criteria, and when we go to the results, I'm going to put the table back in so that you can see how, I guess that is a table. So we have the item call number, so we knew where it was from, the title, and hold on, just gonna put a new fresh table in here so you can see how. So we had all this stuff and different replacement costs and number of checkouts and all these different bins. And here's this whole, like all these Norton anthologies. There were even some titles that had different costs because maybe it was like a different edition. Where's an example of that? But like trying to go through and export this and multiply that and you know just so many things, right? That's terrible. No one wants to do that. So the thing that I would like to teach you today is creating your own custom columns. So I needed a student savings column that I knew would be the number of loans times the replacement cost for the item. So that, because it has a measure in it and the little ruler guy, I knew would need to be a measure column. So all I did was you can literally pick any extra criteria and we add it in here. And then we're not going to keep it as it is. So we go into edit formula and I'm just going to delete that because that's not what it's going to be. And we're going to do, I'll just repeat exactly what I did before. Student savings, so we don't get confused. So now we know, okay, it's going to come up and it's going to stay student savings demo, but how do we get the total? how do we get that multiplication of the number of loans times the replacement cost? So we're going to go to loan, and we're just going to drag the one that we want here. Nope, that's not the way to do it. JK. How did I do it? Give me a second. Okay. I was like, how did I do? Yep. Okay. We can pick an existing column, which is nice. So we're going to do our loans number and then times, and make sure to unhighlight, otherwise it replaces the replacement cost. And so now we have a totally new formula in here. And it's, gonna, hold on, let me put my old table back in. Back. And since I just put that in, it's gonna show us the same data again, which we don't now need. So I'm gonna take it out because we'll stop being confused. Okay, so that is a very, very quick and dirty, like, I would like to multiply two things, or add two things for an item. So now I was like, well, what are some interesting visualizations that they might want to share out or celebrate a particular department? So I created a pie graph to show like which departments are doing the most like savings for students. I did a bar graph to show like it's the same thing, but instead of percentages, it's totals. So we can see that early childhood education is like doing awesome, saving students like $40,000. And then I also was like, well, like what title is it that's getting checked out so much that it's saving students so much money? And so I did the title report. So what's really interesting, and I do want to like reassure everyone, even though these titles have been binned from multiple, different variations of the same title, at least some of them have. And even though the call numbers have been binned, the formula is still working on the individual item level. And then the final data that's displayed is binning all of those resulting savings. So, yeah, it's super cool. And you trying to do all of this work yourself would be super annoying and hard. Now, one of the things that you might look at and say, well, that medical law and ethics book, 438, like, I don't know, does that seem right? We could take a look and see, like, is the replacement cost that's been put in like artificially low? Like it was just filled with, $10. Well, must be a multiple of whatever. Or is it not getting checked out? One of the things that I wanted to do to this report to add a little more like report out ability was create a year by year total of how much money was saved. So I thought that we'd just kind of start with this, and I would show you how I add additional criteria, bin those criteria by the date ranges, and then create the visualization of how much money has been saved every year through these checkouts. So I'm going to save this in case I messed it up. So we need now, we have the loan date in here. Great. So all we need to do is create some bins in loan date. So add bin. There we go. And we want a between. And we're going to choose, I'm going to do this really nice and detailed. I'm not going to like try to oversimplify. So I'm going to go ahead and go back all the way to 2018. And we will do September 1st, 2018 to August 31st, 2019. Okay, and we're going to call this 2018 to 2019. And we're going to keep going. And we're going to do September 1st, 2019 to August 31st, 2020. This is going to be really interesting to see, like, it's going to be affected obviously by COVID shutdown, but also by like how many additional titles have been added over the years. And we could even do a report. We could add criteria and do a report like that as well with the same thing and not even have to like create a new report, just create a new visualization from the same set of criteria. Okay, so now we're looking at 2020 to 2021. So 2021, September 1st to 2022, August 31st. I'm going to name this 2021 to 2022. Clearly, I've been doing some date binning already. Now we've got 22, 23. So September 1st, 2022, August 31st. Just double checking myself. And we're going to do September 1st, 2023. And then basically through today. And then now I'm going to do this. I've already accidentally clicked on the all other values, and I'm going to do a pre 2028 or 2018. Wow. Okay, so now we have binned the loan date. And loan date is not included in any of these representations. But just to get a look at what we're looking at, where did my pivot to? Okay, I'm just gonna like move those out for now. Okay, so this pivot table has way too much information. We do not need individual barcodes. We don't need to see life cycle. We don't need to see replacement cost. We are hoping to get student savings by year. So I'm just going to get rid of things. Okay. Amanda, do you care about having it by subject area, or is year fine?
The year is fine.
Okay. So we're going to get rid of that one. And now we have this very nice little tiny, not crazy savings by year that shows us really clearly that there were probably not a lot of titles, or that the titles maybe had like zero replacement costs because they were old and, not new cataloging. Year before COVID, definite improvement. Like year of COVID, big, and then it doubles. Um, and like you can dig into that as a librarian, and I would certainly dig into why this last year is so much less. Um, but we can take this and just put it over there. And then we can bring back our title and it's still thinking. And our savings by title. And honestly, like, I don't feel like this is that great of one, because pie charts, when there's that many sections, are kind of annoying. So I'm going to say, you know what, like, we're just going to use the bar graph. And now we're going to put that title just over subject area, and we're going to add another title. Come on. And we're going to put that over here, and we're going to say savings by year. So now we have this fantastic little dashboard. I wonder why IST suddenly went so much higher. What in the world got changed? Okay, hold on. Okay. Description is not keyboard. Permanent is not that. Student success. Weird. I'm gonna just double check. Because we were looking, and early childhood ed had the highest total, and now all of a sudden IST does. Okay, so that call number, we didn't add any criteria. We just binned our loan dates. Let's just go in here and see. Anyone have any thoughts on why Alma might have just suddenly started? I'm going to resort this by call number. Okay, so hmm, so education. I don't know. Yay, fun mystery. Um, okay, now it's whoa. Okay, so this graph, here we are live learning about math. Um, this graph is pulling from something with, oh, I bet it's selection step order. Okay, hold on. Let me do, okay, so we've done our layout, and then down here is selection steps. And we are starting with all members and then looking at call number and then titles and then barcode, uh, and then replacement cost and then loan date. And why? So, okay, let's learn about selection steps because clearly selection steps can have impact on what your visualization looks like. What's interesting is that like these title by title totals have not changed no matter where the item call number column was. Um, so it's very odd to me that we're suddenly getting um, a different bar graph total when the title totals haven't changed. Um, oh, and now we've suddenly got a much higher total for 2023, 2024. Maybe something just wasn't loading right because this seems much more likely. Um, interesting. Interesting. I don't know why something would have just randomly started loading when it didn't before. Um, but now I'm gonna just test things for fun. Why the heck not? Okay, so IST is now on top with early childhood education. And it doesn't.
Carly,
Yeah,
when you're
thoughts?
sorting them, it's sorting it as individual lines, like the way you have it now. But when
Mm-hmm.
you're sorting it by the first column, that's where you're getting some of them grouped together, aren't you? So sort by title or by call number, and I just want to see if it's grouping them so the total is less or higher. Yeah. See, like this the Spanish all bin,
Mm-hmm.
you got all those individual ones, but when you sort it by student savings, I want to say you're getting a line for each individual item. So
Well,
you got a line for 383, along the line for three. That's why the that one is spiking up because that does have the highest, the 15,000.
yeah, but IST is the com or information something. So here's IST here,
Eight.
and this,
IST is engineering and industrial
okay,
services.
okay. I was like, I am entirely guessing.
Okay, but
Um,
if you add all those together, is that more than that 15,000?
6 plus 3 plus 8, that's 17. This is like maybe 20, but education here is easily more than 20. And early childhood education is saying it's 30,000. So the totals, if I'm doing really quick math, are not. So this is only coming up as, so here's, okay. So health, safety, and nutrition for the young child is actually um as a title um listed without. Nope, it's not. So why is it getting more? So we have health, safety, and nutrition for the young child with 9,600. But then if we do, okay, 9,600. Okay. So the individual ones are, did this change? So why is this total getting so much bigger when we move the call numbers over? It has to do with the order, but well, and see now it's not even updating. Okay, cancel. Okay. Yeah, and now we've got this education bin that's way higher. And if we go to education down here, that is not $70,000. So something about this order is messing up the math. Even though I wonder if I take out item call number, what happens? IST with 38, early childhood with 30, and now we've got this year's down to 12,000 again. Boy.
Is it taking into account any of the blanks that we have in there that are grouped?
Well, so the thing is, um, there are titles that are not attributed, and that's this one here, which is like barely anything. Okay. Alma Analytics, Selection Steps. Let's see what Galileo has to say about this. Reordering and sorting columns, table formatting, graphs and charts, bins, great. This is what we're doing. Well, I was gonna do like a conditional format and only show like the titles that have saved more than X number of dollars. But before we go and screw up more of the results. View properties. That's no. No, there are no prompts. Okay, well, oh man, okay. We have to go all the way up to Oracle. This is going to be a real fun meeting. Um, okay, so these are creating groups. from a custom formula. Nope. Hmm. 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 IST. Measuring student savings. Hmm. Seeing what it does when it totally pulls it apart. So if we go down to, okay, so it's putting ECED still at 30,000, which is kind of what we've been getting all along. Education now only says 19. And engineering is now saying 38. This is so strange. Um, did organizational behavior wasn't at the top before, was it? Well, now it is, but I swear it wasn't. Okay, well, all of those are like staying the same now. I don't know, but we're still at not as much this year. And if I switch it to here, it's something about sorting based on the savings. See, now organizational behavior only has 10,000 and not 19,000. But if we do organizational communication, 8,000? No, behavior, 10,000. So why is it coming up with 19,000? I am beyond understanding this. So potentially, if you run into a problem like this, one of the things that I would do is go to the catalog and copy your report, and I'm going to copy it into, I'll copy it into Wade's. And so I pasted it in here, and now I'm going to get rid of all of the bins and see what the heck happens. Oh, click the wrong button. This is okay, retain case statement. No. There we go. So now the numbers for year by year savings are really different. What in the heck? However,
450.
this is the one class because education isn't binned anymore. At least the title level data seems to be fine. This is very fascinating. And I do want to figure out why the heck it's happening. But it seems like a potentially deep dive into SQL of analytics. The other thing is this pivot table. Oh, that's fun. This is a totally different amount. Something about this pivot table is off. I'm gonna get rid of the pivot table. And okay, again, titles are staying. But like these four kind of swap positions depending on what the heck's going on. I wonder what other bin. Okay, so we binned item call number. Did I do anything in call number? Nope. I did titles. I'm gonna get rid of barcode. And I'm gonna get rid of life cycle. And see what that does. Because now, for some reason, SOCH 320 is back at 19,000. And education 115 is at 14. Um, and since this isn't Amanda's report, it's a different one entirely. Here's the other option. So here is the I'm gonna just get rid of my calculated student savings, and now I'm gonna just change the order a little bit, and uh, when in doubt, so we have 2018 to 2019, the call number of the title, the replacement cost in the system, the number of checkouts. We can export this into, so here's another little trick that I've learned. Formatted means if you have taken out columns or done sorting, it will reflect that in what you format. If you do data, it will literally just give you everything in the set that hasn't been filtered out. So I'm going to do formatted, and I'm going to send it to Excel, and I'm going to have to change my share. And now we can always do nope. Oop. Well, why'd you do that? Let's see if Excel gets the same mathy bits as everything else. Okay, we're going to say savings. Now we're going to make this a, oh heavens, table, because then I can do a cool Excel thing that Oracle, oh, seriously. There we go. Okay. Going to, there we go. I was like, I would like to be able to read this. Okay, now let's take this and we're going to make our own pivot table in Excel. So if you thought you were getting an Alma Analytics day, just kidding. Okay, so here we have the exact same stuff. So we're going to go with titles for our row and our calculated savings for our value. And we're going to make, and yeah, and let's see now if we, come here, sort, no, no. Oh, it's going to do it in the order that it's in the original table. So now we can do update data. And we do a refresh all. Come on. Okay, why isn't it sorting? This is very annoying. There we go. So now it's saying that, I mean, it's the same top 4, but it's not the same totals that, and that may be because like organizational communication has, we've still got the bins on titles.
Mhm.
So why is Excel saying the electrical code has okay, so 1984 should say 60, which it totally did. Where's another? Art, a brief history should say 110, which I believe it totally did. Okay, so that we can validate. What do you say, Alma? If we go back to your report, and we're looking for something worth 110. And it's not there. Art, a brief history is saying that it's 130, which it definitely is not. So it must be somehow duplicating things, obviously.
Well, there's like in like the in Alma, there's like both like a list and a net price.
Right, but they don't use so this data is all based on replacement cost because
Oh, it's just the replacement in the item record.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
so
Big
that
Ben
shouldn't come
doesn't
into it at all.
right.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah.
That is odd.
So it's clearly counting something twice. And I fully plan to dig in more and see if it's a bin issue or something else. Because it all
Okay.
started getting wonky when I added that loan date bin, didn't it?
You know, there are some canned reports that like like count usage and will like return things like fractional uses.
Mm.
So like I don't know what to think about some of the things that analytics says.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I guess the lesson um from all of this is it is entirely possible to create really excellent reports and get at least some idea of like how your users are using the library and what you're doing. However, probably want to take it with a grain of salt sometimes. Let me try something. I'm just gonna get rid of that loan date. So that's still coming back totally fine. Yeah, I don't know. But now we have child development at like 15,000, which child development is not 15,000. It is definitely like 10, which was the number that we had before. Weird, 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 weird. So maybe it's something about my student
Is it
saving.
doing something weird with the calculation there?
Yeah, I'm like, so we have loans not in house times replacement cost. So you wouldn't think, but maybe now it's really inflating things. Um, it does seem to be something potentially with this. Um, hmm. I wonder. I'm gonna try something weird. You guys don't do in-house loans, do you, Amanda?
Uh, sort of. When uh textbooks or items are checked in before they get moved back out to the shelves, we do another return item for them. And those pop up as in-house when I check the record.
Yeah. Okay, so
So you're doing like a double discharge again. You're not going into scan in, Amanda?
No. Yeah, we're doing a double return.
Okay. Yeah, because then
Mm.
that's what we found also. You do the double return just to make sure that, it is off the student's record, but it gives you that
Right.
in loan.
Exactly.
okay. 53 loans on child development at a replacement cost of 286. 15,000. How many loans? Okay, so the number of loans the child development is getting here is only 30, not 53. So it is inflating loans somehow. But why? Oh, I'm also curious. if we did returns. No, because returns would be that would be your double check-ins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Carly, can you go back to the one that had the blue numbers on it? I don't know if that was in Excel or yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm thinking child development, even though you have it sorted by that title, could there be another child development somewhere else?
Could be. Let's just look. It's too big. So that's
Oh, just do a child uh, space development and just hit find all, and we'll see if anything's out of that one grouping that we had above. So anything out of the 98, 99, 100 range?
nope. It's those four. This is a different title. I'm curious to look at something with a smaller. So we've got coming of age in Mississippi, and that total is like 198. And in here, if we go down to about $198, coming of age in Mississippi seems that one's correct. So why is it certain ones? Because, well, but see, look, total checkouts equal, okay, I can do 11. Okay, so 11, and yet this one is saying total checkouts. Oh, that's the in-house, not in-house. It's like, no wonder.
Do you have active lifestyle as active? Because otherwise you're also picking up.
No, because they've got ones that have been removed, like
Yeah.
withdrawn, that they still want to
Okay.
get counts on.
Mm-hmm.
That's always my last resort.
Mm-hmm.
This is just baffling.
Yeah. 11 checkouts of coming of age and 11 checkouts. So somehow some of the loans in house numbers are getting duplicated. So like, okay, brief history of Greece, 4 checkouts. That's the Roman one. Four checkouts. So it's not the low number ones. It's this high number one. Did I? Oh, hold the phone. Let's look at the bin for the titles.
Possibly double bin.
Maybe, yep. That is entirely, yep. That would be a Carly mistake right there. Because you can double bin, which would mess stuff up. Okay, we're gonna say these guys that have the word child in them contains exact. Is exactly. What do we? It didn't help at all. Why is it getting so many loans in-house? We know that it does not have that many loans in-house. Nope, that wasn't. Um, could it be picking up the exceptional child? Ugh. Yeah, so there's something going on. I suspect with the bins. This graph got all messy because I added.
Well, the graph title says loans in-house and not in-house.
Yeah, I just because
Okay.
because I'd accidentally pulled it in. So, I mean, all of this messing about, and we've potentially, I'm gonna get rid of this not in-house. Realized that the loans in-house number is getting duplicated, but I just don't know why.
Can you list
So,
out the individual loans that are not in-house by barcode to see what titles? Maybe there's a dupe in there. Maybe, I'm grabbing straws now, but
yeah, I appreciate here. I'm gonna take that off. I'm gonna do a new table. And we're gonna do don't care about life cycle. Don't care about call number. We're not don't want to look at that just yet. And we don't necessarily need replacement costs because that's not where the problem is. Now, if we do a prompt on title, come on.
do we want to add loan date back in there?
Well, it's thinking really hard about putting title into prompt. There we go. Now if we go to child development, here's all those barcodes. Okay. No duplicate barcodes. And 4, 6, 8, 10, 7, 8. Now I'm getting 55. So 55 seems right. So why are it's not deleted or undeleted? That's so weird. So something in this formatting is actually excluding loans. Maybe it was that loan date because I'm not going to save because this is screwy. So I'm just going to go back out to catalog. Okay, so that is the correct number of loans. So that tells me that this amount is right. And something about the loan date thing that I did messed it up. And I wonder if we do oh, is there okay, we only want loans not in-house of greater than 0. But here's a goofy thing. With the loan date in here, I wonder if the double check-in so here's another so messing around with loan date is you know, you can bin things and we've talked about how that might be useful, but you can also use in the loan date folder. I'm wondering if this is the better loan date to use, and we were under I was using loan details instead of loan date. You can do the month key and the year and now we can sort and let's see if we're still getting go to if we're getting all 55 checkouts now. Because I wonder if that was one of the things that, oh, good heavens. I used to work with this like legend of an analytics guy. And if any of you come from Orbis Cascade, you probably know of Paulo Genis. And he was always extremely persnickety about which criteria from which folder he used in his reports. And I was like, I don't think it matters that much, but it's probably because I was never doing advanced stuff like this. So if we do all of these okay, 28, 36, 46. Yeah, we're getting all 55 now. So, aha, I do believe that the problem was using the loan date from loan details instead of using the loan date from the loan date folder. Why? Why is that a problem? I don't know. Couldn't tell you, but I think something about binning those different criteria just broke analytics brain. So yeah. Now if we just wanted to do now we can take out, we don't need to see this one. And we don't need to see, let's see if it's still counting 55. Yep. So now we've got our reliable title list with the amount of savings. I have unbinned all of those, but that's fixable. And we can now, instead of using bins, it won't be by school year, but we can create a pivot table and do, there you are. Now we've got calendar year savings by call number, so we can see like which classes, which departments we're using library textbooks to save students the earliest. But if we get rid of everything but loan year, yeah, that's what it was. Going to move the pivot table to Jeez Louise. Idea. What was that? Table 2? Not table 2. Okay. I think this is accurate. Um, from the best of our ability, I think like this graph got messed up because we added other criteria in, but if I take that back out, nope, do not. There we go. Now we have savings by call number, which we can rebin. Savings by loan year, which is not school year, but at least it's something. And then we have our titles, and I am reasonably confident that this is accurate. So thanks for joining me on this little endeavor to figure out why sometimes the things we make, although they should make sense, do not make sense. So, and you want me to save this, Amanda, the way it is, since I like messed
Please.
up a bunch of other ones. So, yeah, and I can rebin. But yeah, so if you're working through this stuff and you come across some goofiness like this, please feel free to reach out to me and we can kind of dig together. Because when we stumble on the reason or the answer, or who stumbles on it or what leads them to it, so many ways to success. So, and I have a lot more time to just like poke around and figure it out and not have to sit at a checkout desk. Yeah. I hope that this was a little helpful, maybe not as helpful as last week talking about bins, because I felt like we had a really successful binning conversation last week. So, yeah. Any questions before I stop the recording?
Yeah, Carly,
Mhm.
I know you can use the format from one analytic report on another one. Is there any way to reuse the bins from one report to the other?
Yes. So, what you can do is if you go into the report that has the bins and so like you go into edit formula, you can copy the column formula and then paste it into the column formula of the other one. So like if you create a column formula to bin loan date and you want to keep using it over and over again because, loan key month key, and loan year are always, like that's a set thing, right? That column formula would be usable again and again and again. Or if you created a bin to bin, like values of like less than 10 to 25, that would be the same. Doing this title one, like you couldn't, rebin that. But is that kind of what you were thinking, was like reusing loan date
Yeah,
ones?
that's what I've been doing. I just didn't know if there was a way to save them and then just put them in when needed.
There might be, because there are certain ways to save some things.
Because the other thing I'm thinking is if you save that column, it
You
should
can,
retain everything that you bin then.
Yeah. So you could save the column, and reuse the column with the bin that you've applied to the column.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Because you can save, so like if we like if you were like save column as, and then we can save it in our shared folder, and then just like basically so if we save that, and then it would pop up here in the catalog, and instead of pulling the column that you're wanting to reuse from subject area, you would pull it from down here in the catalog for anyone who hasn't done that before. So, and I'm happy to walk through that if anyone wants to, like test it out or something. I have never actually saved a column. I just like know that it's possible, and that's what it should operate like. But yeah, if you wanted to like create a binned loan date thing, because you could bin like loan year month, or you could do loan date and do real custom calendar for like quarters or something. Now I want to try it. I'm going to do it, Bobby. What do you want me to mess around with? Where do you want me to save it?
Yeah, because for me, I normally bin the loan dates based off quarter, and then if I need to tweak it, I can just it's a little number here or there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you and I can I got to find the report, and then we can try it out.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, it is 6 after. Thanks so much, everybody. And I hope you have a great rest of the week. This is our last workshop for the summer, but we still have summer drop-in hours this week, and I'm gonna kind of chill out and try and get our new website going. But then the fall schedule will start back up again and get